O Happy Plague.
One rose. Everyone looked forward to the plague, this season more than ever. It was all we could buzz about. They were saying that this was going to be the best one yet. About time, too. Last season's plague was a big, fat buzz killer. Yes, it managed to decimate a few tiny towns, mere dots on the map, but the insta-flu blew right over us here in the Windy City. We all felt like the world was throwing a giant party, but we weren't invited. Oh, but the flu certainly nailed JD. 1 minute he was in the break room, pouring himself a cup of coffee, and the next minute he was keeling over, right in front of Sandeep, our PR rep. Sandeep, lucky guy, snagged JD's wallet and expensive shoes. 10 minutes later, the Myrmidons were hauling off JD's body while Sandeep was strutting around the office $500 richer and his feet wrapped in Italian leather. What'd the rest of us get? A big coffee stain to clean up. Lots of extra work. But this season was supposed to be so much better. So much better. Can't wait. Mary Jane brain-fed me just as I stepped off the red line. I am just so excited. An evil grin spread across my face as I remembered last season's embarrassing little incident. Mary Jane must have skipped her happy meds, because after JD dropped, she broke down screaming and carrying on so bad the medicos had to rush in and shoot her full of happy thoughts. Mary Jane was still crying when the Myrmidons came to collect JD. They paused in their duties to eye her, and for one moment I thought they were going to haul her away, along with JD's body. I wanted to cry and scream at them to leave Mary Jane alone, which was a stupid thing to feel because I'm always pumped full of happy thoughts. No matter though, because pretty soon the happy kicked in good and set her to laughing and singing. Oh, the insta-flu is coming. The insta-flu is coming to town. And so the Myrmidons shrugged their shoulders and went on their merry way. And all was well. That was last season. But this season, she was in the spirit. We both were. I walked from the red line stop to the office, smiling at passersby and thinking, if you dropped right now, I'd snag that nice hat of yours. And hey, I like your purse. Would you be so kind as to flatline? Everybody was just grinning and buzzing all over the place. Of course, what I really wanted wasn't a hat or a purse, but Mary Jane's condo. Mary Jane lived one floor above me. We're neighbors. We work together and we play together. We're like sisters. But as much as I like Mary Jane, I just love her jacuzzi. That thing is sweet. I know, it's a relic from the long ago, but Mary Jane had it retrofitted with brain-buzzing direct feeds. We spent hours in that thing, our naked bodies massaged by water jets, our nimble fingers pumping one another to climax after climax, and all the while our brains going buzz with happy thoughts. Okay, so we're not exactly like sisters. We should have a party here, I keep telling her. Pick up some pretty boys, get a bunch of brain buzzers together, share some direct feed, have some real fun. But no, Mary Jane would have none of that, the big fat buzz killer. always tells me how she'd feel awkward and uncomfortable, buzzing naked with all those pretty boys. We argue, until I finally shout, "I hate you!" And she cries, "I hate you too!" Then we kiss, and all is well. I was always over at her place. If the Instaflu nabbed her, I'd be all over that condo, ready to invoke my squatter's privilege under the revised contagion laws. Her place is bigger than mine and has a full bar, as well as the jacuzzi. And you can bet I'd have me some killer naked raves. Whew. I was jolted from my daydreams by the vid screen overlooking State Street. Breaking news streamed. Plague is coming early. I tapped into the direct feed as the anchors discussed what was on all our minds. This was going to be one for the record books. This new strain of Instaflu had broken out in Mozambique and spread throughout the African continent in a matter of weeks. It tore through Europe, bypassing control measures, and then the contagion mutated and picked up speed. "Looks like it's already hitting port cities," chirped World Watch anchor Tessie Sherman.
"Yes, and it's spreading faster than anyone anticipated,"
replied co-anchor Vincent Mann. "Tragic. So tragic!" Tessie tried to keep a somber face, but just couldn't hold back her smile. They cut to East Coast scenes of myrmidons loading plastic-wrapped bodies into evac vans. Oh, the crowd on State Street erupted in applause, and a moment later brain buzz surged through me like an ocean tide. I fed in my own happy thoughts, and the feelings shot back 100-fold. If the plague was ripping through New York, Chicago could not be far behind. Maybe it was already here. I nearly ran to the office, happy thoughts trailing after me. More for everyone else, more for us all. A festive mood permeated the air, but here and there I spied a few of those sour old buzzkillers who just couldn't get into the season. You know who I'm talking about, those dour old folks who mope around asking, "Oh, what if it gets you? Don't you ever think about that?" The answer is no. I don't think about it. Why would I, with all the happy thoughts buzzing around? If the plague flatlines me, I'd hardly feel it. That's the beauty of the Instaflu. It's painless and merciful. After it flatlined JD last season, I found myself envying him. The lucky bastard went down just in time to avoid writing his annual report. How lucky was that? The Instaflu isn't anything like those nasty old plagues in the history books, where people puked and broke out in disgusting boils. The Instaflu either kills you, or it leaves you alone. And everyone left behind gets extra stuff. What's not to be happy about?
To Sandeep. Death sweeps the land, and I walk in terror. This is as it should be. I accept no mood-elevating medication, nor do I brain buzz. I plaster a smile upon my face and move among the zombies. This I choose, to be freely alive, to honestly feel, even if that means being terrified and lonely. Who could I possibly speak with about these matters? Last season, JD died right in front of me. Horror surged through my body. I looked upon JD and wanted to weep for the loss of such a fine man. Yet I didn't, lest I be found out. I could not risk the authorities learning that I regularly abstain from the vile, mood-altering substance they dub happy, happy thoughts. Fortunately, Mary Jane must have forgotten her medications that day, for she caused such a scene that my own distress went unnoticed. I removed some of JD's personal effects, his shoes and some cash, because that was the role people expected me to play. Handling his newly deceased body in this fashion was a sacrilege. It was abhorrent. But appearances in these dark days must be maintained at all cost. I strolled through the lobby smiling inanely, all the while screaming within. Worse than fear is the guilt that smothers me like a shroud. During the heavier plague seasons, I see people dying in such numbers that I pray for it to kill me also. So this nightmare will finally cease. And yet, when death actually approaches, I find myself pleading with the powers that be, not me, not yet. Oh, dear, sweet Jesus, please. I detest myself for such cowardice. They're saying this plague will be exceptionally devastating. I mask my horror with an inane smile, but at least I feel alive. Fear is the appropriate response to these times. I ride the elevator up with Rose and Mary Jane. They converse and brain buzz so fast I don't even try to keep up. I can tell they are both wishing the other one dead. Do they not know? Do they not realize they are in love with one another? Oh, sweet love in the time of plague.
Three, Mary Jane. I know dear Rose wants me dead, little scamp. But that's okay. It just means I have to work harder to make her love me the way I love her. In the meantime, I brain feed her all kinds of happy, happy thoughts, telling her how excited I am playing right along. It isn't hard. I keep all pumped up on happy meds these days. But even with the happy, it sometimes hits me. I could lose Rose. When JD dropped last season, everyone thought I had forgotten to take my happy meds. But I hadn't. No, even through the happy thoughts, all I could think about was Rose. She could have been next to flatline. And so I screamed. I panicked. I made a scene. Sometimes I want her dead. I love her so much. I know she loves me, but she wants so much else as well. That's okay. I'll cure her of that. If we both live through today, I'll make her want nothing but me. Me. I'll make her want me more than she wants my condo, or even my jacuzzi. I'll get her drunk and buzzed and go down on her till she screams and cries and forgets all about naked raves and pretty boys. I'm wearing an expensive new shimmer dress, all for her today. I sashay past her desk, ocean waves rushing across my bod, and watch her eyes drink up the sight. Yes, already my plan is working. Oh, here comes sour old Sandeep to spoil my sweet buzz. He probably wants to rope me into another one of his little talks. Always something about how living for pleasure is wicked, or some such Eastern drivel. And what's his deal, anyway? This is the best plague in forever. He's looking like some sad old hound dog. Oh well, I'm too excited to let him get me down, so I call out, "Hey there, Sandeep."
For Sandeep, it wasn't always thus. The world was not always so mad. Yes, we had problems, and we had chaos, and many people were addicted to drugs while others used substances for nothing more than idle recreation. We had diseases and sometimes epidemics, but we fought them. We did not greet them with cheers and celebration. People did not run about with glee wishing one another dead so as to acquire additional material wealth and property. The world was always insane, but it also knew compassion. This vile disease, this so-called insta-flu, did not ravage the land. It is such an obviously manufactured virus, seizing its victims quickly, efficiently, and, so they claim, mercifully. My heart weeps for the young people, such as Rose and Mary Jane, who know of no other world. They have been taught, no, not taught, conditioned, brainwashed. Yes, they have been brainwashed the entirety of their lives to seek after only that which is immediate and to fulfill only the transient pleasures of the flesh. They have been so brainwashed in this manner that they never pursue the grander meanings of life, never experience true joy, the kind of bliss that fills the deep well of one's soul, and not just the surface area of the senses. I try to communicate these concepts, but alas, my counsel is met with derision, and my efforts have thus far been fruitless. Since my words pertain not to the next moment and not to immediate gratification, and furthermore are not delivered by the staccato word delivery system that passes for communication in these troubled days, they have little use and little patience for anything I wish to communicate. And yet, truly, I cannot cast blame, for I behold with heavy heart the harsh world into which these innocents are born. I must endure. There are others like me, others who are repulsed by the madness that poses as jubilation, others who long for the lesser madness of the old world. We gather in secret, a time-honored tradition for revolutionaries, and we speak to one another in spoken words. We are a quiet resistance, a revolution of serenity amid the swirling chaos. Where this movement will go, I cannot foresee. Maybe our meetings will be discovered, and forcibly disbanded. Maybe my esteemed fellow members will succumb to the temptations of mind-numbing intoxicants. Maybe, God forbid, I, myself, shall succumb. I live in horror, and often think, if only I could escape, even for a short time. If only I could be free of the horror that sweeps the world and ravages my beloved city, this horrible flu that took the life of my friend and fellow revolutionary JD right before my mortified eyes. I often desire an escape, and such a thing is so prevalent in the form of mind-altering drugs. But I know that even a single step in that direction leadeth unto destruction. And so I pretend to greet the horror with silly words and gaiety, lest my true heart be found out. I must endure. Otherwise all is lost, and not for myself alone, but for future generations. I and a very few others stand amidst a raging river. It is not that we despise pleasure and celebration, but that we remember the deeper satisfactions that come with true values. We remember such things as honor and truth, and doing that which is right, for no other reason than that it is right. I try to speak with my co-workers about such matters, but such communication must always be conducted in the most roundabout fashion, lest my views be made known to authorities.
Rose had a very strange chat with Sandeep. He just walks up to me in the break room and starts word talking about all kinds of crazy things right when I'm stuffing my face with the most delicious donut ever. I'm not even sure who brings these babies in, but I got myself a new most favorite donut of all time, and it's absolutely stuffed with this amazing raspberry filling that's super sweet, and the donut itself is all super fluffy. And I really gotta find out what bakery makes these little tastes of heaven, because what if the flu were to flatline whoever brings these amazing things in every day? So anyway, my mouth is crammed full of deliciousness, and Sandeep launches into some crazy lecture. And the next thing he's prattling on about how being happy is bad or something. And I stand there thinking, okay, whatever. Did you forget your happy dose this morning, Grandpa? Seriously, though, what's with this guy? I mean, yes, I know he doesn't brain buzz and all, but other than that, he always seemed to be happy. Maybe I should give Central a buzz, see if they can help him out a bit. Make sure his dosage is right or whatever. Yeah, I'll buzz them. Let somebody else untangle this web. I've got so much else going on. And can't a girl take a minute to enjoy a raspberry stuffed slice of heaven without getting a sermon on morality? Nope. Guess not. That's why we all call him Preacher Man. Oh well, hardly matters, 'cause Insta-flu is coming. Insta-flu is coming. Insta-flu is coming to town. Six. Mary Jane. Sandeep talked to me some time back about settling down and building something, building a life. And it made me so happy that I wanted to cry. But then it made me so mad. So furious, because what kind of life can I build when it can all be gone tomorrow? Or today? He was talking about building castles, and I can't even manage a sandcastle. And so I laughed in his face. Not because anything was funny, but because it hurt so much. Thinking about the future and lasting love and growing old with the person I love more than anything. I laughed, but really I wanted to scream and cry and rip out my hair. Oh well. I don't think he'll be bothering me too much from now on. I noticed somebody from Central having a nice little chat with him out in the hallway. Poor old Sandeep. He looked like he wanted to bolt, but the nice man from Central was flanked by 2 medicos and a myrmidon. Nowhere to run, preacher man. Seven. Rose. I feel so tingly. Oh, news spreads faster than the plague itself, and it's hard to think about work. Mary Jane saunters by my desk wearing the hottest little shimmer dress. I'm sure I could squeeze into it without much trouble. If she flatlines, that shimmer dress is mine. She asks if I want to go out for Thai after work. I think about her fine condo with the jacuzzi and say, let's go to your place and order in tonight. She knows what I'm thinking. I really hate you, she teases. Hate you too.
8. Sandeep. There has been considerable activity this past hour with death sweeping through the loop, and a nice gentleman from Central came by and gave me a big shot of a happy. It was against my protests, but now I feel so much better. No more of those silly walking through the valley of death thoughts for me. A great burden has been lifted from my shoulders, and I say good riddance. I laugh at how somber and serious I was. I feel like singing, and so I do. Insta-flu is coming. Insta-flu is coming. Insta-flu is coming. To down.
Nine. Rose. Direct Feed streams the latest update. The Insta-flu has already hit Chicago and is spreading at an unprecedented rate. Nobody is getting any real work done today. We're all just too buzzing excited. My heart races, and I find myself feeling downright predatory as I imagine everyone dropping to the floor like JD did last season. I see myself racing around, throwing shoes, purses, wallets, watches, whatever I can get a hold of into a trash bag like some sort of crazed burglar. Oh, I'd take Tanya's shoes and Sally's purse. I know Clive carries a big wad of cash, so I'd be sure to snag his wallet. Then I'd take Mary Jane's shimmer dress, pull it from her body like a banana peel, pull it from her dead body. Oh God, no. Mustn't think like that. This is the season to think happy thoughts. There are just too many myrmidons about to go around being all sulky. Speaking of myrmidons, I hear their siren. I'm not the only one to rush to the window as the evac van rolls down the Salle. The myrmidons emerge to scoop up a body. A pedestrian drops mere meters from the evac van. A crowd converges on him. But a minute later, the myrmidons close in. They wrap and load the body. But already other pedestrians are dropping. Very much as I had imagined mere moments before. Oh, I've never seen a plague like this. My heart pounds. Mary Jane stands beside me. She takes my hand in hers. "I hate you," she whispers. I love you, too," I whisper back. For 1 second, I'm not even thinking about her jacuzzi.
Thank you for tuning in to tonight's episode of Fright Night Radio. If you enjoyed our story, please give us a thumbs up. And be sure to subscribe to our channel so you enjoy a frightful new tale every Friday night. Pleasant dreams.